Hamitakipi. Lately, I've been getting told that I control the narrative, or I change the narrative, or I manipulate the narrative. The way I see it is I wasn't the one who manipulated the narrative. I'm trying to straighten it out. Here's examples of how non-Lakota people have been trying to manipulate and control the narrative in our Lakota language revitalization and reclamation. December 30th, 2009, someone from the Lakota Language Consortium admin on the Lakota Language Consortium website in their forums posted this comment. Pause to read. They're asking users of this forum to go on Amazon and give Father Buchel's old dictionary thumbs down, bad reviews, 1 star, whatever. On the bottom last paragraph, even attack a Lakota person, saying it's the worst, without doubt, the worst dictionary ever published, and questioning that person's fluency. A Lakota person points out this is disrespectful, this is not part of Lakota values, and then they leave this group. Here it is. Go see for yourself though. Again, go to Amazon, type in Buchel. That's one of the admins for the Lakota Language Consortium. Brian Ulrich, go read his comments. Basically just tearing down Buchel and Manhart and the diacritics. His big thing is spelling, accurate spelling, which is not a thing. He gives two comments or reviews, Jan Ulrich, and it's pretty much the same thing. These are more people just going and basically from that post going and trying to change, manipulate, control the narrative, a disgrace. Go see for yourself. A big push for the LLC is the standardization of their orthography. LLC defenders also accuse me of manipulating the narrative by calling it the Czech orthography, which I got from this research article. The new spelling system promoted by non-Lakota Lakota Language Consortium has been referred to as Czech orthography. That's because when they first started introducing it, people, Lakota language speakers, people thought it resembled the Czech writing system. This is what the writing system looks like. Decide for yourself. I'm just using the research article that refers to it as the Czech orthography. In this research article, Ulrich said that Lakota language literacy has been nearly non-existent in the 50 to 60 years. So they came, if you can see the bottom here, they came and they declared theirs as the SLO, the Standard Language Orthography for the Lakota people. Their talking point is that their orthography comes from the work of Dakota anthropologist Ella Deloria. This is Ella Deloria's supposed orthography. Although she may have used it, Boaz referred to the writing as Deloria's as the alphabet as we designed it. Deloria characterized it as Boaz's new way of writing. It seems to me it's just a retread of an outsider, non-Lakota Dakota person telling a Lakota Dakota person how to write our language. From this text, it appears it's more Boaz's than it is Deloria's. But if it is Deloria's, Deloria already has her own writing system. Write it like Deloria. But anyway, back to the Lakota language literacy has been nearly non-existent in the 50 to 60 years. LLC pushes this a lot.
Brothers Samuel and Gideon Pond and Stephen Riggs.
They don't even mention the Lakota.
They wanted to translate the Bible into Dakota.
Here are some examples. The Lakota Iapi o Kolakichie Tkatchanka. This is often referred to as the white hat orthography. This was created over a couple decades by the Lakota Iapi o Kolakichie group. It had teachers and speakers from different reservations, Cheyenne River, Rosebud, Pine Ridge, Lower Brule, teachers and speakers from Rapid City. They attended these meetings, many meetings, and they took the time to vote on each letter and each sound. They unanimously passed this orthography in 1995. This is Lakota sounds created by Tui Karen White Butterfly, a longtime Lakota teacher and speaker. She taught at Ogallala Lakota College. This is the Tkakini Ia Wowapi, Tkatchanka. The X is voiceless velar fricative, it's called. Tui Violet Catches is a first language speaker, as well as she got her MA in linguistics from Colorado. This was 1997. This is speakers' general use, often what Ulrich and the LLC referred to as ad hoc spelling. Below is the Leroy Curley Lakota alphabet. This orthography is based off of the cycles of the sun and the moon. This was done in 1982. Again, this isn't all of the contributions to Lakota literacy. This is just a few examples. that the LLC says doesn't exist or didn't exist or was nearly non-existent. How they manipulate elders, these are their waivers. I hereby waive any right that I may have to inspect and approve the finished product or copy that may be used in connection with the sound recording. Be aware of that specific sentence. That is not the language of a nonprofit organization or a research organization. This would never pass an IRB. I spoke about this in a previous video. Pause to read. Pause to read. And for those that have worked with elders in Lakota language, it kind of always scared me when you give an elder a waiver. A lot of times they won't even read it because they trust you. So they'll just sign it and record and talk or tell a story, share a song, whatever you need. Not understanding that there's all this for-profit language in these waivers. This is how they mislead with grants. They put one of their Lakota board members on the grant application. And from what I was told, their board members don't make any money, but they use them to apply for grants. Just to review, this is their director, Wilhelm Maya. Again, last year he cleared over $251,000. He is from Austria. And I don't know what everyone's thoughts are about pretendians, but this is Jan Ulrich, the Lakota Language Consortium director. This is in the Czech Republic. Pause to read. In 2002, the Lakota Language Consortium, or what would become the Lakota Language Consortium, applied for a grant. They listed over 30 schools, including SGU, right here, although they didn't have their support. LLC got the grant. SGU did not, because they were listed as a contributor in the MOU for the LLC grants application. Read the bottom paragraph. SGU, they still believe their name was used to leave the impression that they supported the grant request by Indiana University. They believe they lost their bid for a grant based upon this false impression. This article is just overall interesting. This paragraph right here, the LLC documentation strongly implies that there are no fluent speakers younger than the elder age group, and the presentation implies that the Lakota cannot deal with the problem themselves. Therefore, outside help must be brought in to lead the program. This appears to us as a sugar-coated attack on sovereignty. 2002. The presentation suggests that a goal for the program is standardization of language. We feel that this approach will cause problems because the language is utilized diversely. If standardization is determined to be the approach of the organization, then the question is whose version will be adopted. This will cause dissent and politics to become a factor in the process. Control and ownership of information, curriculum, and certainly the dictionary as a product of this consortium. And it declared that the Lakota studies did not support the alleged unethical scholastic and professional practices by one of the main organizers of the LLC. Correct spelling for the Lakota again. This is really interesting right here. The consortium will produce teaching materials, and they'll be in a variety of formats. There will be multimedia lessons in CD, there will be printed textbooks, dictionaries, and that kind of thing. All of that would be paid for by the consortium fees. Each school gets those materials free so that there's no additional charge for consortium schools. If people outside the consortium want to buy those materials, they will be made available or sold, and the profit goes to the consortium. Again, misleading that in 16 years, it's going to move from Indiana, where most of the work will be done initially, to somewhere out there in South Dakota, and it will be taken over by local educators. This has not happened. Actually, Wilhelm Maya's salary has only grown and grown and grown. This should have happened in 2018 if this article was done in 2002. On the Lakota Language Consortium website, lakota.org, spelled with the H, they list memories of Albert Whitehat, and Wilhelm Maya even does an interview on behalf of Albert Whitehat after he passed on. Albert Whitehat was not a supporter of the LLC. They tried to come and overthrow their work in their orthography by claiming the LLC orthography as the SLO. By speaking out against the LLC and their false narratives and all of this stuff, the Whitehat family wrote me a letter of support, which I'm extremely grateful for. And a cease and desist letter of them using any of his stuff. Because again, although Whitehat didn't support him, they used his materials in their Lakota Language Consortium grammar book, Lakota ceremonial songs, and reading and writing the Lakota language. But yet, Wilhelm Maya. Should non-Lakota people be speaking on Lakota people, on our language? If we went back to the Teoshpai system, they don't have permission to speak on our behalf, or behalf of Mr. Whitehat. But anyway, this is how they tried to manipulate the narrative. Rosebud even made 2 resolutions, one uplifting the work of their people, and this one. They standardized the Lakota Iapio Kolakichia orthography, so they wouldn't have to go through the orthography battle. So it's really interesting that when they attacked me May 18, 2021, they list Rosebud, South Dakota, of all places. I emailed my father-in-law, who was the president at the time. He said that this did not come from the Tribal Council, this attack on me by the Lakota Language Consortium or the Elders Treaty Council. So it's just kind of odd that they would say Rosebud, South Dakota. Pause to read. What this is talking about is my Lexi Brian charging cloud. He didn't offer any information or did he lend any support to the LLC, but his name was listed as a resource in their books, or one of their books. Many Lakota who had been designated by the LLC as supporters have distanced themselves from the organization and their products. With the long list of names acquired in this questionable manner, the LLC approached tribal council members and tribal education boards to get formal letters of support, giving the misleading impression they work closely with Lakota community members and gain their consensus. One of my relatives told me that he had to go to one of these classes to be certified to be a language teacher through the state and the LLC. So he went, he signed up, and then the LLC listed him as a supporter in their books, and he did not approve of that. Another weird thing Ulrich is doing right now is posting pictures of elders that he's taken, like that somehow they're somehow co-signing on all of his BS forever. Come on, man. So, trauma narrative. A lot of tribes are turning from these trauma narratives of the E words, using the words like extinct, endangered, to talk about their language. They think it's disrespectful. Not true. Dismisses a lot of their work that they've done and their elders have done and or their people are doing. But this is one of the LLC's favorite tricks, favorite ploys to get funds. All these calls to action. They try to scare the hell out of you. You could be the last generation to speak the Lakota language. That one. Learn what we are doing to preserve the Lakota language and how you can help. Language crisis. Tribes are even going away from the word preserve to use maintain or maintenance. Preserve. Be a part of the solution. But to me, this is the worst one of all. Celebrate the life of a friend or loved one through a donation in their honor or memory to Lakota Language Consortium. This was in 2021 when we were losing a lot of our elders and our speakers to COVID. And they're trying to make money off of it. The passing of our people, our loved ones, our speakers. I don't know how that doesn't upset our people. And I don't know why people defend this. But I honestly don't know if people know what types of things they're defending. So people keep accusing me of manipulating the narrative, but I'm just trying to straighten it out.